Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I welcome you all into the next lecture. That's a part of a series of lectures on thin layer chromatography. In the very first lecture, I give you the basic idea, the basic concepts behind the thin layer chromatography. In that very perspective, I explained to you the thin layer chromatography actually differentiates the separates compounds on the basis of their polarity. One can identify whether the given compounds are pure or it can some sort of impurities in it that can easily be judged by using simple thin layer chromatographic separation using TLC plates. Similarly, in the subsequent lecture, I given you an application aspects of thin layer chromatography. I explained how thin layer chromatography could be adopted, used for the monitoring of chemical reactions. Once you are doing any reaction in the chemical lab, in the laboratory, you're reacting to different reactants and you're aiming to produce a product, then how you can monitor whether the reactants are being reacted with each other, at what pace, at what rate they do react with each other, and in how many hours the reaction goes to completion, and at the end whether you receive a single product or more than one product. So you can check all these things by simple chromatographic technique, that is thin layer chromatography. In that very perspective, we looked into a bit sort of a principle and the movement of these deposited drop of the reaction mixture on the base of the TLC plate, then its movement with the solvent, and I told you that the thin layer which is spread over the aluminium foil, it has hydroxyl group pointed upwards, the polar groups, and they produce a resistance to the movement of the polar groups. That's why the polar groups are supposed to retained on the TLC plate, and their movements are resisted by those hydroxyl groups. That's why polar compounds don't move that much on the TLC. However, the non-polar moves at a bit faster rate on the TLC. This is how the polar and non-polar compounds could be differentiated. On that day, I have just given you a simple, very convenient example, where the TLC plate was used for the determination of a reaction progress, where two reactants A and B were reacting to produce a reactant C, and we assume that as it in fact that is the upper layer contains hydroxyl group, so those hydroxyl groups are supposed to resist the movement of the polar compounds. So the stationary phase, that's a thin layer on the aluminium foil, that's a polar. So on the other hand, we use non-polar as a medium, as a solvent medium that is used to solubilize the part of the molecules deposited on the base of the TLC. So they move as per their solubility in the mobile phase. Today I'm going to explain that we can have the mobile phase not only the like hexane, which is supposed to be non-polar only. We can use mobile phase in the form of a system, polar systems, non-polar system. We can have a mixed system as a mobile phase, So I will write this as solvent systems for TLC, that is thin layer chromatography. Why we need solvent systems, we need solvent systems need those for better separation of individual compound. We use solvent system for better separation of individual compounds. As explained to you on that very day, if we have any sort of reaction mixture, it carries reactants as well as it carries the product. After the few hours when the reaction is being run on a hot plate on a stirrer, so it is supposed to carry reactants as well as the product. So if you want to check their presence in a bit better way, better to use solvent system. So the solvent system can separate them up on a bit better way on the thin layer, depending upon their solubility in the solvent media. How we can use the solvent media, what is solvent media? What are the solvents that we could use, Let's say on that day I explained to you we use hexane. Along with that we could use somebody which is a bit more polar, which is a polar as well. We can mix two solvents, polar and non-polar, in different ratios to generate a solvent of a bit polarity, Let's say we have a hexane 90% and we could introduce ethyl acetate 10%. So we can have a system of 9:1 ratio solvent system. It can be the solvent 1. We could have solvent 2 where we can keep the hexane 20%. We can bring in ethyl acetate 20%, mean we have 8:2 solvent system. In third solvent we have 70:30 ratio. So 3 or maybe more solvents can be generated by taking one non-polar, the other polar solvent in different ratios. We are keeping polar in less amount. The polar solvent ethyl acetate is 10%, 20% and 30%. Why we take it in less amount? Because the stationary phase is already polar. So we can't take this polar but in larger amount. Both polars will create huge hurdles for the movement of the polar molecule. So we need to keep in different ratios. Why we need to keep those in different ratios, I will explain in next few minutes or so. So at the moment what I'm saying, we can generate a solvent system just by mixing two different solvents. One will be again non-polar, the other could be polar, but just mixing their different ratios, 90, 10, 80, 20, 70, 30, 60, 40, 50, 50. This you can use as many as possible, Why we can have 3, 4, 5, I will explain to you next as well. So these will be the solvent system I will be using in the subsequent explanation, So keep those in your mind. 70, 30, 80, 20, 90, 10. The larger amount, larger volume is supposed to be of the non-polar, Let's say, I've explained in my last lecture about the TLC, the baseline, and then I explained to you the upper lane. So all concept has been given to you guys. It's a TLC plate. From the reaction mixture, we put in a capillary tube into the reaction mixture and take just a drop, a very little drop of the reaction mixture, and we deposit on the base of the TLC. We'll let it dry for a while, and then we take this TLC, pick it up, and we put that TLC plate in a beaker, in a TLC beaker. Sometimes a TLC tank, sometimes it's a smaller in size, it's a called TLC beaker, a specialized beaker for TLC. Let's say we have put this body into the solvent beaker, which carries solvent, you know, which carries solvent. Which carries solvent. I've told you the solvent is supposed to be less than this baseline, you know, because the solvent will start to move from the lower end of the TLC, will start to move in a homogeneous way, moving up till it reaches the up lane. If you put in the TLC and your solvent is high enough this line, it will directly dip into this solvent. Your line directly dips into the solvent, then the movement of this molecule will be disturbed, you know, because as soon as you put them, it has got directly dipped, it has got in contact with the solvent. So better you need to put solvent in a smaller amount in a beaker, so that only the lower edges of the TLC should get in contact with the solvent. When you put that in, with the passage of time, the solvent from the beaker should start to move through, and then it comes closer to this spot. This is very important spot. Then then the solvent starts moving up till it reaches the upper lane, you know. This is how it is supposed to be. So once it moves, let's say initially, as I have told you on the last lecture, let's say we have used hexane only. Hexane only. Got my words? We are using hexane only. After hexane moves through the TLC, reaches this upper lane, we take the TLC. Before that, we need to cover it as well, you know. We need to cover it as well, so there should not be any influence of the air. There should not be an interaction of the air. So it moves through. When it reaches this lane, we take the cover away and take the TLC out, let it dry. Then we'll see where is the spot, where is the molecule. Let's say I assume that this spot has moved just a little. One can see here two merging spots are there. This spot has moved a little from the base, but two merging spots. I could make a bit larger for you guys so that you can see one spot and then the adjusting two spots. Two spots are there, but they are merging with each other. They are close to each other, merging with each other. It seems both compounds are polar in nature, having very close polarities. They haven't moved beyond. They are very close to the base, but still they are merging with each other. We don't have an idea. There are two, or maybe there are three. The third may be underneath of the one, or the two, or maybe in between the two. That's why they are being merged. So we need to clarify whether there are two, there are three, what is happening around there. So we have an idea, these spots, one is a little ahead than the other, means one compound is a bit more polar than the other. There is a little polarity difference. That's why they are up one another, very close to each other, but merging with each other. So then we need to separate them at a far distance so we can recognize them very easily. There are two, three, how many they are? Definitely they are not one, because the two different size, two different spots represents two or three, not one at least, you know. Then what we can do, we will take this TLC out. No, we can't use this TLC. Once the TLC plate is developed, once the solvent moves from here to the here, the same TLC can't be used. Mark my words, keep this in your mind. This is useless now, but it has given us clue that the two spots are very close to each other, and that's all. We will throw it away, or we can save it for later purposes. Better to keep it, better to save it for as a reference for later purposes, you know. Now, bring in a new plate. We bring in new plate. We bring in new plate. Again, we took another capillary. We took one little drop out of the fraction flask and deposit it again on the base of the TLC. We have deposited here again, like this way. Now we need to change the solvent system. We have an idea the solvent which was only a single solvent, it was a non-polar hexane only, so it hasn't worked a lot, it has confused us, it has shown two merging spots. So then we can bring the solvent system 1. What was that? It was hexane plus ethyl acetate. It is we bring 90 ml and 10 ml, mean it's a 9:1 ratio. New solvent has been produced. We have prepared this one. We can use this body in the solvent as a solvent system. We will put this one in now into the beaker. Now our system is hexane ethyl acetate 9:1 ratio. We have taken hexane and put in little bit polar solvent. Why? Because now this solvent system has become a bit polar now due to the presence of this polar part. This polar system, when it will move through, when this this system which is 9:1 will move through, now it is relatively a bit polar solvent now. When it will move through this spot, the two components which were closer to each other, they will separate from each other, because at least one of the molecule is more polar than the other. That's why it was on the upper side of the TLC, the other was on the lower side of the TLC. The one which was on the upper side of the TLC mean it was non-polar, relatively non-polar. The other which was on the lower side of TLC was supposed to be sort of more polar. Now you are a bit more polar, and you have you have introduced ethyl acetate as a polar solvent, a little bit of the polar solvent. Introduction of the little bit polarity will create a difference between these two spots, will create a difference of the distance. Once we have introduced this one and we let it run, the solvent moves through the plate. Once it moves through the plate, so we let the solvent move on the TLC. As the solvent moves through the drop of the mixture, definitely to dissolve those components into it, and it will move until it reaches the upper lane. As usual, we will remove the lid and then we'll take the TLC out, and we see what we see. We'll see that the two components, the two spots which were merging in the previous TLC have moved apart from each other, because they have a different polarity from each other. However, in previous case, when only hexane was used, that was only a one type of solvent without any polarity, so they were unable to produce any significant difference between their distance. Now the polarity has been changed. The solvent has become more polar due to the introduction of a polar part. Initially it was not here, so only non-polar. Now a little of the polar has been introduced. So as a whole, the system has become a bit polar. Okay. So as it will move through, we have an idea polar like dissolves like. Now the out of these two spots which were merging, which was more polar, it will move a bit more on the TLC, and the one which is less polar will remain on the lower side. So there will be a difference between their two difference of a distance between the two spots, which will confirm us that the after the reaction there are two spots present in the flask. The one drop we got from the flask, it represented there are two spots, and two spots means there are two products. One is byproduct, the other is a major product. So this is how you have, by using a different solvent of a bit more polarity, we have differentiate between the two compounds. Let's say we want to separate them more. We want to see these compounds apart from each other. What we could do, we could bring in a to 2 system, a system with 80-20. We could have bring that one. We could bring in 80-20. This plate no more usable, we need to take that out. We can keep that for as a reference. We can keep that as a reference, because the used plate can't be reused. So again, what we will do, we will bring in new plate. Let me explain this way. We will bring in a new plate. So let's say I'm bringing in a new TLC plate. As usual, we marked a baseline, we marked an upper line, we took a new capillary, dipped into the reaction mixture, took that out, and then touched the surface of the TLC in a pretty lighter way, and deposited a spot over there. As per the previous practice, we bring that TLC plate and put that into TLC beaker, and we introduce the solvent, the TLC solvent. This time we have, hexane, we have ethyl acetate. Let's say this time it is 80, it is 20. Okay, 80-20 mean 20 means ethyl acetate is 20 ml in 80 ml. 80 plus 20 is going to be 100 ml. 80 to 2 ratios. Initially it was 1%, now it is 2%. So mean we have made our solvent a bit more polar than the previous one. 90-10 was a bit polar than the simple hexane, but now 80-20 is more polar than the 90-10. Again, we will let the solvent move through the TLC. It will pass through this spot and move until it reaches the upper lane. We had already covered it. As soon as the solvent has touched the upper lane, we will remove the lid and take the TLC out. As per our practice, we will let it dry for a while, and then we will look around for the spots. Let's know the spots have moved on the TLC. We will see that due to the change in the polarities in the solvent, due to the introduction of more polar solvent, out of these two, we have an idea both were polar in the beginning, because in the very first the spots were closer to the base, merging in closer to the base means both are polar, but having a little different polarities from each other. Now as soon as we have increased the polarities, which was more polar would have moved up due to the introduction of more polar solvents. So as soon as we will keep increasing we keep introducing the polar fraction, polar part in the solvents, the distance between the two spots will keep on increasing. They will get separated from each other. They will get at very different positions on the TLC plate from each other. Again, we see that only two spots are available on the TLC. Means two components are present in this flask. Either their reactants or their product, or it's some sort of a compound that was given to you for identification purposes. So this is how we could use different solvent systems in order to get a clear difference between the two merging components. That's why most of the times we need solvent systems. One solvent should be of like hexane in larger ratio, the other one, the polar one, are supposed to be in smaller ratios. It could be 90-10, 80-20, 70-30, 60-40, depending upon the nature of the compounds present in the flask. So this is how you can use different solvent systems for better separation on TLC. Why we need different solvent systems? Number one, for better separation of individual compounds for identification of purposes, that whether they are 2 compounds, 3 compounds, how many they are, so we can identify them in a pretty precisely way. We change solvent system. The other is we try different solvent systems to get better separation of the component of the TLC, and then this TLC gives us clue for proper separation of these compounds. I've told you these two components are present in the same flask. Let's say we have run the reaction. After the completion of the reaction, two components are present. How we came to know that? From the TLC we came to know that these two bodies are present together. One is a minor product, the other is a major product. So at the end of the day, we need to purify them. We need to get the main product and the minor product separated from each other. We want them in separate flasks, two flasks. How that could be done, how they can be separated from each other, that has to be decided by the TLC. TLC system suggests us how we can separate them out. We can separate these two from each other. Let's say if we use simply hexane, as I did in the start, the two submerging components were there, so they can't be separated using simple hexane because they were merging. Once we used hexane ethyl acid in 90-10 ratio, the components start separated from each other. However, the distance between the two was a bit small. They were very close to each other, so it was relatively hard to separate them. Thirdly, when we are applying 80-20, the components have separated from each other a bit more. Maybe if we apply 70-30, we could have a more than that better separation, far better, much more separate from each other. So these systems hit in trial methods. 90-10 is better, 80-20 is better, or 70-30 is better. We can use on a smaller scale in the TLC. Then afterwards, when we see that 70-30 has given us a very best separation between the compounds, then we could use the same solvent system to separate these two bodies from each other. At the moment on the TLC, we put a single spot, and we have separated them a single spot from each other. In the flask, maybe we have 10 grams of the products and 20-30 ml of the solvent, and when we want to separate them out, it's a big issue. It's a single spot separation by this system, okay, on TLC. But if you want to separate them out on 10 gram, 20 gram, and maybe more than that, how we could do that? That has been given, we got the clue from the use of the different solvent systems. So we can select the 70-30 as a solvent for the purification of the major product from the minor product. If somebody use only hexane for the purification of these two bodies at 10 gram scale, definitely two submerging spots can't be separated, so you won't get better separation of your byproduct from the major product. However, if somebody uses TLC and finds out 70-30 gives far better separation, and later he uses 70-30 for the separation of this 10 gram, 20 gram, then he will get both compounds in two very different flasks. This can be achieved, this can be taken out in the flask number 1, and then it can be taken out in the flask number 2. So they will be different from each other. Purified samples can be obtained into different flasks. So actually TLC suggests our line of action for the purification of the compounds. That's why different solvent systems are used to check the presence of number of fractions in a given solvent. I want to discuss one more thing. Let's say why we need solvents systems. I'm trying to make it very clear for you guys so that we can get better separation of the individual component. Let's say it's a reaction. Let's say we have mixed only two bodies, A and B, and we are supposed to receive C as a product. Sometimes you can expect some D, C plus D, major and minor products. However, in most of the times, let's say we are using plants, vegetables and plants do carry a number of natural compounds, phenols, alcohols, proteins, flavonoids, steroids, and many other compounds, they do carry at the same time. If you prepare any sample from the plant that may carry more than 4 or 5 different components in it, for such components, if you use only hexane as a TLC to check whether that plant material contains one fraction or more fractions, you will see so many submerging spots, mean that plant material contains few polar, non-polar, medium polar components. Who they are, we have no idea. However, from the TLC, we could imagine that they are present in so many numbers, 4, 5, 6, maybe more are present, but they're very submerging, having very close polarities. In such cases, yes, we will try 90-10. We can try 80-20, we can try 70-30, 60-40. With every solvent system, we will see that the spots have got, the distance between the spots have increased. They are getting separated from each other. Maybe by increasing like 50-50 or 60-40, they give you a far better distance between the components. So you can find the plant material contains 5 molecules, 5 fractions, and very much separated from each other. Once you have applied 60-40, 70-30, a sort of a polar system which have given you clue. However, if we have used only hexane, they all would have appeared like a big box, multicolored box, closer to the base maybe. So you would not have got any clue how many they are, what they are. They are polars, sort of polars, and they're very close to the base, and they are supposed to be many. So under such conditions, then you have natural components, natural compound, you don't have an idea how many they could be. So you try different solvent systems. With different solvent system, you will see the components will start separating from each other. 90-10, they will separate. Let's say they will separate into 2 spots. The big spot has got separated into 2s. With 80-20, maybe 3 spots submerging. 70-30, 4 spots a bit separate from each other. 60-40 or 50-50, very much separated from each other, 4 or 5 spots. You can imagine how many fractions are present there. So that is why we need TLC solvent system for TLC in order to find how many components are present in the given sample. In simple reaction mixtures, A plus B, C plus D, 80-20, 90-10, 80-20, 1 or 2 solvents could serve you well, could give you clue. If you have a mixture of from plants or any other natural product, they could carry more than one component. Under such circumstances, maybe you need to apply 4 or 5 different solvent system one by one. Once you are applying one system, your TLC will become useless. You can put that on the desk for reference. Let's say you have performed TLC 90-10, afterwards you perform 80-20, then 70-30 and 90 70-30 and then 60-40. After that, what you do, you put them together. Let's say you put 90-10, then you have a 80-20, then you have 70-30, then 60-40. So in every once you can see, okay, it is showing 2 spots, it's 6 spots, the next is showing 4 spots, the next is showing 5 spots. So keep them on the lane, on the bench. You can find by changing the solvent system, you can see how much separation is there, how many spots have been separated from each other. So solvent system actually helps us to identify the number of components in the given mixture, and further it suggests that how and what kind of solvent we could use for actual separation of the whole sample. Again, I'm stressing it for you guys. On the TLC, we have separated only a very little small. One spot was placed over here, and then the solvent has separated that spot only. But in fact, in the flask, you have 10-20 grams of your solvent, of your products, You can't separate those on the TLCs. However, the TLC has just given you what sort of solvent could be used for further purification. How the further purifications are performed, I will explain in subsequent lectures, inshallah, under the headings the purification of the reaction mixtures, purification of the natural products using TLC, using flash column chromatography. Actually, TLC takes us to another technique. It's called flash column chromatography, sometimes simply column chromatography, that helps us to separate individual components out of a mixture. So I hope you got the idea about the solvent system which are being used for TLC. They are for the monitoring of reaction mixtures, or they are just for the assessment of the purity of the compounds. I hope you got the idea. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, so please come up. Do ask me by putting your questions in comment area, or you may approach me through email or WhatsApp as per your convenience. I would be happy to respond at my earliest possible, inshallah. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum.